Okay, so this is Prison Architect 101. So the first thing that we need to know about Prison Architect is where we're going to build our ultimate prison. We've got a few different items that we can use to do the planning and the building of our prison in the bottom left. Items here like setting up foundations, bulldozing foundations that have been created. Everything has to be set up on a foundation, otherwise it's considered outside. There's a few rules that you have to bend to get some of the functions to work properly, and there's some tricks and techniques that I can show on how to get some more elaborate designs in the architecture and the foundation. We'll be talking about that later. So we've got in the upper left hand corner is the to-do list. This is mostly just kind of reminders of things that are happening, how long your grants and your programs are, of that nature. Right next to it you have bureaucracy, which is the icon that will help. We'll get into that in a bit. It's kind of like the backstage introduction into planning stuff out, being able to buy items, getting new staff, things of that nature. Prison grading, I actually haven't gotten to there yet. I haven't released 10 prisoners. That only happens when you have 10 prisoners, and then the main menu. At the top we've got At the top we've got our days. Eventually we'll have our danger meter as well, how much we currently have in the bank, our cash flow, and then we'll have some staff buttons as well. Everything is movable. You can change the size, although it's a little bit wonky. Our analog clock, I changed that to analog because I find it easier to read than looking at the digital clock instead of the analog clock. If you click on the regime, we need a warden to get to the regime, so we'll do that later as well. The first thing that we need is some offices. So down here on the bottom in our tools menu, we can plan out the prison we want to build before we build it. So we're going to want to build everything kind of close to the garbage and deliveries, so that we can kind of get things into our prison rather quickly when it's delivered, and then get the garbage out so our guys aren't walking away from the garbage to take the garbage out for a long time. So let's get a hallway. We're going to need to find out what size our office is. So if we go down to the rooms, this is the different designations of rooms that we can assign. Right now we need an office. An office requires a minimum size of 4x4. It needs an office desk, a chair, a filing cabinet, and it needs to be indoors. So let's make a 4x4 room in our planning tool. Get to walls, and we'll just do a pathway is 4x4, and then we'll put some walls around it. So this will ultimately be, we'll put a doorway. That's where I want my doorway to be. This will be my warden's office. Now I also need some cells for my prisoners, because in 23 hours I'm going to get 8 new prisoners. So I have 23 hours to build my prison with the cash I have, or else I'm going to have to wait another day to be able to get anything, any prisoners in my cells. We want to eliminate time waste. This is a free market prison. So let's build another office, and I know I'm going to want an accountant pretty soon. I'll do that. I think that's too big. That's a 5, so we'll do that and clear that out. And this will ultimately be another office. So let's make an entryway to our prison. Let's see. Like that. This will be the front door. We'll make it double wide so that they have room to move. And then why not, we'll put some more offices down here. Do it again. Okay. Nope, that's not right either. I was right the first time. Actually, let's make it triple wide so that we can have a door in the center. That. There we go. Good. Did it wrong that time. Should be 5. There we go. That's really fucked up though. Okay. So this is going to be our other office that we need, 4x4. We're going to need a storage for our incoming deliveries for our workmen, so we'll put a storage here. Our storage needs to be, it doesn't matter how big it is, but we're going to make it let's make it a 6 by 10. It'll be a pretty big storage. So we'll go to our planning, pathways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 10. Okay, well, we'll leave an opening here so that we can get a second entrance to get in and out of deliveries. Okay, what do we need next? Let's take a look at our rooms. Basically what you can do is kind of, when you're first starting out, just see what you can build and then plan to build spaces for it. Eventually we're going to need cells as well. What we can also do is go to reports and take a look at some of our different aspects of our prison. So the first report is staff. Staff, currently we only have a bunch of workers, which is fine. Eventually we're going to hire some guards as well as some janitors and stuff. And then soon, once we get an office built, we're going to make an administrator. Get a warden. Prisoners, we don't have any prisoners yet. We are open to accepting new prisoners currently, which means in 23 hours we'll get 8 prisoners. If I turn that off, my prison is closed to new inmates. I have to open them up. I can either do low, closed, or normal, low, normal, or high. I can open all 3 if I want. But they will give me 8 prisoners of that variety if I have it open. So if I have normal risk open, I'm going to get 8 prisoners. If I have high risk, I'll get 8. This will change. I think the first 2 days you get 8, and then after that I think it might be random. Every single time I've played through a new game, it's given me a different number, whether it's be 20, 16, I think I got another 8 for my third day. But the first 2 days are always 8, I think. At least I've never noticed them to be anything else. So we're going to keep open for normal prisoners tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Jobs, I don't have any jobs right now. This is kind of just like a log of jobs that are currently in queue and happening. I haven't found a whole lot of use except to find out when things are not working because the game is a little broken. Needs, we need a psychologist for needs. This will tell us the satisfaction of our prisoners, what they need to, not be upset. That's the whole game, really, is to make them not upset so they don't riot. The regime, we need to get a warden for this. This allows us to see the day, hour by hour. You can modify them per risk, and there's several risks that we have: low, medium, and high risk. There's an ultra risk, and then there's also protective custody. Policy, for prison policy, we don't have to worry about that right now. This allows us to punish our prisoners more or less, as well as feed them more or less, and in what variety, to make them happy or unhappy. Grants are kind of our quests. So the Basic Detention Center is the first quest. So when we start out our new game, this is really what we want, because when we complete it, we get $30,000. So that's pretty nice. Do we get 20,000 right off the bat, or do they give us all 30 at the end? Yes, they give you $20,000. You get the grant, you finish the grant, you get another 10. So that's pretty cool. For this we need a holding cell. A holding cell needs to be 5 by 5. We need a shower, a yard, kitchen, canteen, and at least 2 guards and 2 cooks. So we're going to need a canteen, a kitchen, a shower, and a yard. Or some holding cells, shower, and yard. So that's kind of the bulk of our prison. Okay, so pause it again. Alright, so now that we've got few offices. We've got a nice big storage. I think what I'm going to do is plan out a pathway. This is our 3x3 prison entryway into the different segments that we'll kind of work with. First things first, let's get some cells. This is a pretty small prison, so we're gonna make some cells. Now a cell at its minimum requirement needs to be 2x3. 2x3. In here you can fit a bed and you can fit a toilet. And those are the two things that a cell needs. It needs to be 3x2, it needs a bed, it needs a toilet. You can fill it with other stuff. You can put a bookshelf in there, put a TV in there. You can put a workbench if you really wanted to. But you might need more space to do that, to make your prisoners happier. But you can fit more prisoners in if you're more efficient about it. So it's entirely up to you. So let's see, make this a wall. We'll just make them basic prison cells for now. And we'll get ready for our 8 prisoners. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, whoopsie, 4. Actually, we should probably figure out a way to keep storage and our offices isolated. We'll put a staff door there or a jail door. We'll just put a jail door there. And we'll put a guard on patrol to guard it, to let people in and out. So here's 1, 2, 3. We'll put one more. 1, 2. There's our 4 cells. I'm going to put a hallway here because I think eventually I'd like to put another set of cells, and maybe another set of cells with a hallway in between them to work around here. It scares me a little bit that they're so close, walking so close to the front gate, but it's just a tutorial. You can build your prison how you want. So for right now, we'll block it off. We need a yard. We can do a yard in 2 ways. We can either put it indoors or outdoors. If you make it indoors, it's fine. I don't know if there's a minimum yard requirement, but we'll make an indoor yard just so you can see what it would look like. And we'll make it a 9 by. Let's make it big. Let's make it nice and long. 8 by 20. We'll mirror the other side of this, so we'll do this and have, actually we'll put our wall up right here. We'll put a space, we'll put a 3 walkway, 1, 2, 3, and then there's the corner of this wall, so then we want that, and that, and that. So this will be our second set of cells. Alright. Okay. So we'll end it there. And we'll take a look at some of the other things that we need. So we have enough for 8 prisoners that will be arriving at 8 a.m. We're still paused because we haven't put down any foundation to start the construction. So you know what else we're going to need is power. So we'll put power back here. So there's, under utilities, which we will get to. How should I do this? Okay, so we'll put some power down. We'll put our power supplies up here at the top. Now, power generators and the actually, what we should do, let's clear that. Let's put it over here. We'll house our power generators here. Power and plumbing will go out here, right next to. This will be a doorway, and then a doorway there. Kind of fill into here. A power plant is a 3 by 3 space. So let's put it like this. 3 by 3 space that can have capacitors put on any end to allow for additional power consumption. We also need a 3x3 water tank, which doesn't require anything but power. We'll stick some walls up around this. A walkway on either edge. Like that. That'll be our power. We'll close that off for now until we add more stuff. Power and plumbing will be right here, and that'll go right into the stuff. I think what I'll do is put plumbing like that down the center. But this doesn't have a center. It's doubled. That's fine. We'll just get around it. Okay, so there's our wall. Okay, so this is going to be the start of our prison. Some of the other things that we need. Okay, so we need holding cells. A holding cell is like just a general location to keep prisoners until we find cells for them. Let's tack it up here. The holding cell needs to be at least 5x5. It needs a toilet and it needs a bench for our holding cell. I suppose what we could do is actually put our holding cell here, make it a 5x5, right? Is this 5x5? That's a 6x6. That's fine. That'll be our holding cell. So here's our holding cell. We'll put doors like that on either end of the holding cell. That's fine. This will still be our yard. Maybe a little bit smaller now. Maybe we can extend it a little bit depending on how this stuff all builds out. We need a shower, a yard. Well, we're building a yard. We need a kitchen, a canteen, and at least 2 guards and cooks. Okay, so let's figure out where we want to put our canteen. How about we'll put a canteen and a kitchen right here. This will be our canteen. So we'll set up a wall to go up. Actually, we'll just make a room that's 12x12. So to seat your prisoners, there's 4 prisoners can sit at a bench. 2 benches can be placed around. Oops. Actually, yeah. Or no, a table is 4. A bench are 4. And one of these can hold 8 prisoners. So let's put I don't think you have to put spaces in between them, but I like to because it's easier to see all of your prisoners when they're not stacked on top of each other. So this will be good for this starting prison. We'll be able to extend it this way if we need to. We will close that off, and we will put a door right there. We'll make it a double door, and we'll just leave it open. We need a kitchen. A kitchen needs... Most of this stuff in a kitchen is let's make this nice and long, he says. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of designing it as I go. This is how the beginning of your designed prison works. It takes a while at the beginning, and then you kind of let it go. So we need 2x2. We'll do that. I'll just start building then. We'll be able to put stuff in there. That'll be a good size for our canteen and kitchen. We got a yard, so let's close this off for now. That. And then we'll start building our stuff. Yeah, and then we can hit play. Because we've got our bare minimums. We've got enough cells for the prisoners. We've got a canteen. We'll have a... Oh yeah, we'll look at reports and a warden, 2 offices, finance, and an accountant. That's something else we can get soon. So those are the 2 that we want right away. Health and well-being, we need a doctor. That's going to be a ways off. Education, classrooms, ways off. Staff well-being initiative. This one's pretty easy, but it needs a staff, so we'll wait until we finish our construction. So now we need to go to foundations. We'll make everything out of brick because Iron Hornet likes bricks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this part first. So when you construct a building next to another building, if you just touch it, like that. See how it's just touching, it's not overlapping, it's just touching it. The walls that are touching will not be built. So this space right here will not have any construction on it. So that's why we build this first. Otherwise, what you could do is if this was just a single entrance, if I pulled these back, you could just build a wall instead of the foundation double wall. Otherwise, I suppose what you could do is build 2 walls. But I like to make sure that this is all considered indoors by having a foundation laid down. So we'll get brick. We'll put our second administrative part of our building right there. And we'll hit play to allow our guys to start building. I like to try to take the construction in smaller chunks, like wait for stuff to kind of get built before I plan out more of it. But Iron Hornet wants us to speed up. We need an object to allow an entrance. We'll put a jail door. Now we'll put a staff door at the front, so staff can walk in and out from deliveries. And we'll put another one right here, so they can walk in from deliveries here, or visitors and guests can come up in the front door there. Okay, now that we've got that going, we've got to start thinking about how we're going to build the rest of this. So brick, like that. We want to try to make squares as much as we can. Whenever you come across like this is, you don't want to do this and then build the other one. I suppose you could, but you'd have to demolish a wall if you put it there. So to build this, I probably would just go like that, and then like that. Sweet. We can speed that up a little bit, and once the foundations get in, then we can start putting the inner stuff. First thing that we're going to need, though, slow it down, and we'll go to we need a power station. Under utilities, under power station, we'll put a Q job there, water pump there, and we'll get a capacitor. We'll just snap on a capacitor on it just in case. Eventually we're going to also want to run some electrical cable. I think what I'll do is I'll run it down this hallway like this. Of course, the quickest points between is a straight line, but we can't make that, so this will work. It'll fill all of this stuff with electricity, all of this stuff with electricity. This actually might struggle with electricity, so we'll run a conduit down this hallway to there, and then I'll finish this off too well. We'll do it to the same edge. Nice streamline. Okay, we need a large pipe to carry some water from. Oh, we can't go underneath that, so we'll have to go in front of it. Ooh, that's scary. See, because prisoners, what they can do is they can dig underneath the tile and get to the pipe, and or dig underneath their toilet and get to the large pipe to escape to freedom. So that's kind of a bummer, but that's okay. We'll put it here, and then we'll deliver water to the same places, except to here. I'm not going to put a pipe down this way because I don't want these guys digging going out there, so we'll make these. I know I'm going to put the toilet right here on the inner corner of the wall, so I'll just put my pipe down like that so that I can connect it. Same with this side, inner wall. It's an extra cube that they have to try to get out. Cool. So now we got plumbing to our cells, we've got electricity to our prison, our foundation is going up. We'll speed this along. It's 1:30 p.m. I suppose what we could do is save right here. Here's a few of my other saves. We'll call this tutorial Turtoil Prison, day 1. And what I like to do, you can't put colons in, so don't put the time, but this is 2 p.m. Day 1, 2 p.m. I also like to put the value of my prison, but like here's 500k. I know my prison is worth 550 at this point, so I can always go back if my prison starts to fail. I can go back and sell it at 550. That was when it was at the most. When you sell your prison that's in construction, it will you will get the money for it for your next prison, which is really cool. So if I start this I had $30,000 in my bank. That was my grant from the loan from the city. Here's some money, build a prison. They take that away when you sell your prison, so that is devalued from the end. You can see that by if you go to reports and valuation. Unfortunately, we need an accountant, so we'll take a look at that when we get an accountant. We'll speed this up along. You know what I actually might do is just take a break right here and pause the recording for a minute and go to the back.